This is a short clip from one of our most recent podcasts. If you enjoyed it, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. Thanks. So you just fell in love. You came to Dickson, fell in love.
I did. You do your research. You look, you feel the vibe, and then you start looking. You go, I can't believe this is a 15,000 person town. I mean, you look at all the amenities. There's Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's all the chains, and there's all the independents, and I'm like, this is. It feels like 50 to 100,000 person town, and then you start understanding. Well, this services a greater area, and then I read things like at the time. The stats quoted that the Kroger here in Middle Tennessee is the largest has the highest dollar per square foot for its size in this part of the world, and the same thing with the Walmart. I was like, well, this is just a really vibrant, great place to do business. So purchased that as just a property. It was attractive because it had the rental units, so kind of passive income to take care of the property taxes, and it could just sit over here, and there was a lady that managed it, and it just seemed easy and smart, and maybe someday we'll do something to Dickson. And then that someday came. Again, it was kind of, I guess I tell folks it was this itch that I never scratched from way back in 2004.
Okay.
That ice cream and candy shop in California. I just always
reemerged.
Yeah, I just I like the people that like food. Everybody likes food,
Absolutely.
And drink, and so it's a fun business. And so you start thinking about it. If you're going to design as much as you can control or create, I don't want to compete against Amazon, right? And insurance is great. I have a lot of insurance. I recommend people get a lot of insurance. But I want to do something a little more hands-on, a little more arson. And so it eventually morphed into this idea of having an ice cream shop.
Okay.
So
before it was, so you bought it, and it was the downtown mini storage. And then I remember, I drive by there, that location every day, and still do. And y'all went in and tore a bunch of stuff out, and y'all did a lot of work before it was even Katie's to do. Was it an antique place, or what kind of was that when you first bought it? What was your first step into?
It was, we got in there. We're just going to clean it up. I was going to sell it.
Okay.
I just I don't know. I can't see this, and I don't know. So we just started cleaning it up. And then I was approached by some folks that were renting on Main Street, and then they leased it for a while. And then we was like, let's just sell this thing, put it back on the market. So I put that thing on the market a couple times, kind of saving me from probably what I've wrote myself into now is this business, which I enjoy very much, but I knew it would be all consuming. And so when a guy kind of half-heartedly says, Lord, I need a vocation, give me something to do, but meanwhile I'm really enjoying my leisure time, I knew what was going to happen. So it was the antique store, and then we developed into the ice cream shop.
And did a fantastic job. So what was I guess where did the name Katie's come from?
That was I thought, and I found some records looking around that there had been registered in Nashville, like a Dickson ice cream, and I could never get anything back from the turn of the century, like 1910. There must have been someone in Dickson County doing something with ice cream. And so originally it was going to be Dickson Ice Cream and Candy Company.
Okay.
And we kicked that around for a while. And I think after saying it and thinking about answering the phone, what a mouthful that was.
Yeah.
And having to take a breath after doing all that, we had to shorten it down. So, family's an important part of our story and everybody's story. I don't know. It's just not mine. But my great-grandmother, who I never knew, her name was Isabel. And so I thought that Izzy's would be a great name. And there's some attorneys that have that ice cream shop named Izzy's. I thought, well, I don't need to take on that fight. And so we talked as a family, and the youngest, so I've got three boys. There's Jack, Max, and Adam. And then the youngest is Katie. And we said, what do you guys think about naming it after your sister? And that was a tough pill to swallow,
wow.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's the little sister.
Sure.
And so eventually that was, everybody was
How did
on
she
board.
take to it? Did she?
Well, she's great.
I can imagine.
I hope in the end that this doesn't, too much spotlight, too much attention for a young child is probably not a great thing. So
Sure.
we hope that never happens.
Sure.
But she's done real well with it.
That's awesome. And I love how you're coming at it from a family standpoint too. There's too many, in my mind, that, like you were saying, we're bogged down with long work hours and commutes and hustle and grind to get as much income coming in as possible. And I think, as an entrepreneur, somebody that's driven to succeed, they can sometimes lose perspective of family. I know I've been caught with my pants down, a couple times doing that, and I check up and my wife's like, where the hell you been? What, you're working way too much and you're missing these things in the moment. In my mind, I was like, well, I haven't missed a soccer game. I'm making those, but it's just the little moments, and, as driven as you are to keep the family all involved, which I guess your 3 boys, they work there as well too, right?
Yeah, it's tough not to keep. Katie wants to work there, so
How
sometimes
old is
she'll
she?
come in. She's 11.
Okay,
so she'll
cool.
come work the register and
Cool.
Do things she likes to do. She's a good ambassador for the business.
That's awesome. So you're in the family business, obviously keeping it in the family. What I am as well. So my in-laws own the agency, and my wife does personal lines here. So I do feel that, and there's obviously a balance that's got to be put into place as far as home life and work life as well too. So I'd kind of like to dive in, I guess, to the start of that. So how what you did over there, nothing short of kind of blew my mind as far as how well put together, and obviously how much money you put into making that location vibrant, a welcoming environment for people. It's open area, and then you've got the playground in the back too. That's was done well with the turf grass back there, and the nice safe playground and cameras and fencing, and it's become a real staple downtown. So what did that process look like? I'm always interested in. Obviously, nothing manifests really without starting in your mind, and this was obviously the design that you worked very hard on and spent some time, really putting some puzzle pieces together. So, what were those kind of conversations like between you and the family, as far as what you decided to get out of whatever it was before the antique place and the mini storage, and you're like, all right, we're gonna relive this nostalgia of when we were back in California, and let's make this ice cream thing work. What did that development look like in your head, and why did you go that direction with it?
Yeah, there was a lot of family conversations to the point where, like, Dad, just stop talking about ice cream in the ice cream shop. They were very fatigued before it ever came to fruition. And I know that, so this thing is like, I'm guarded in, and I'm less guarded than I would be if I was in a setting in California. I'll just put that this way. Let me just say, when we came here, we turned on the news, and it was in December. And this is refreshing for a person that is kind of where we're at in the faith now. You turn on the television, and the newscast, the weather reporter goes, "Hey, folks, on your way to church this morning, I want you to know it's going to be a little icy out there. Be careful." And we looked at each other like, that guy just said church on TV, and he's a newscaster. And so there's the faith is out a little bit more forward here. And so I say that where I know there's folks that are just like eye roll. Oh my gosh, And I used to, like, there's folks, I feel bad now. I was like, really, you're gonna pray for that to happen?
Sure.
Good with that. But I truly, I put a lot of time into it. And no, this is not like, God said, here's how you do this, Tom. But I just, something else I don't know. There was things that happened in the coming together of that business that I can't explain.
That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, and it's easy to like go, oh, whatever, nut job, but it did, and so and I just got to kind of keep that in mind sometimes, because sometimes it's really hard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's really really hard, and but it's rewarding at the same time. I've told folks, it's the closest thing I'll probably ever come to doing as a ministry. I'm not a person that can go out and really talk well about the faith or even be a good example. I'm just a hot mess of a human being. But I in some small way, I hope, we're a good example of family life and we can do what we do. But I'm so grateful for some of the folks that have inputted on the development of the business.